In this video, I'm going to share with you why I rented a studio apartment for $1,000 a month for a half decade and how that helped me become a multimillionaire by the age of 28. And before diving into this, I just want to share a little bit of a disclaimer. Like, some of the stuff I'm going to share is pretty unconventional. A lot of people disagree with it. But the one thing I will tell you is any person that I know that has a net worth over $100 million, they all agree with the points that I'm going to make in this video, and I think that that says something. And it always seems to me that the people that haven't done it or only have 4 units or 8 units or only have that single family home, it seems like those are the people that are always wanting to argue with me. So I really urge you to take a second, open up, and at least listen to this message. It'll help. Opposite of what most people think, the first couple years that you own a home, the equity that you've built up in most scenarios is not real, it's not tappable, meaning you can't just go out and get a loan against it right now today. The bank simply will not do that. Especially those of you who went out and bought a house in 2021 thinking you had all this equity built into it, then 2022 came, smacked everyone sideways, interest rates go up, it seems like that equity has now been lost for the meantime. You definitely cannot tap it to go out and buy a business or buy a cash flow producing piece of real estate. So right now you're sitting on phantom equity, equity that's not really there, equity that you cannot use to go out and build wealth. Even in normal times and prior to the 2021-2022 disparity, I was still saying the same message. Keep your balance sheet clean. And what I mean by keeping your balance sheet clean is you should never have debt on items that do not pay you cash flow every single month. When you go to get a loan because you find an 8-unit apartment deal that you want to buy, or you find a business that you want to buy, the bank will look at the debt that is on your balance sheet. And if that's a single family home that you live in, it's a single family home you live in, but they know you are on the hook for that, which means that you can now get less debt for that 4-unit, for that 8-unit. Now, as you scale and you get 400-unit apartment properties, that debt is different. That debt is big enough where they don't just look at your personal net worth statement. They're looking at the fundamentals of the asset. But while you're still playing a smaller game or just getting your foot in the door, having the unnecessary debt on your balance sheet for the single family home you live in can cripple your opportunity of getting a loan on a business or a real estate deal opportunity that you really like and really want to close on. Another argument that people always bring up is something like this. They say to me, hey Justin, if I'm paying $1,500 a month in rent and my mortgage is $1,500 a month, why would I not want to own the house to build equity and pay the same amount? The bank's going to look at that $1,500 payment the same way no matter what. Yeah, the $1,500 going out is equal whether you're renting or whether you own, but when you own, you have the $300,000, the $200,000 liability on your balance sheet. When you rent, there is no liability on your balance sheet that the bank sees. Obviously, the bank knows that you might be committed that $1,500 a month for another 4 months or 12 months or however long your lease is, and obviously there will be another lease after that, but there's no substantial debt on your balance sheet that is not paying you income every single month. All right, next, fixing expenses. When I lived in the apartment complex, I had fixed expenses, meaning I wasn't gonna have to go out and pay for anything that broke. I just had a fixed rent amount. And so as I made more money, I didn't have a question of where that money was gonna go. I wasn't worried about the property tax increasing on that property the next year because I wasn't gonna have to pay for it, I was renting. If I own my house, I have to worry about the property taxes going up, and it seems like everyone always bitches and complains about property taxes increasing on the thing that they live in. You should have thought about that before you bought the house. By fixing my expenses over time, this allowed me to save up tens of thousands of dollars, which ultimately became hundreds of thousands of dollars, which when I got to invest that in actual cash flow producing businesses and real estate has turned into many millions of dollars that I truly wouldn't have as much of right now if my first purchase would have been the single family home that I would have gone to live in. Third thing, wherever I live is gonna be an expense. Now this is more of a mindset. So what you have to realize is that as human beings, we are consumers. We consume electricity, we consume food, we consume and take up space, and any type of consumption, all type of consumption, costs money. We as consumers, we take up resources, we take up air, we consume things, and anytime you do that, there's an expense to it. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to house hack, and if I think I'm living for free, you're not really living for free, because what you don't realize or what you aren't thinking about is that if you weren't living in that one side of that duplex, you could be renting it out to someone else who would be paying the utilities for you, who would be paying the insurance for you, who would be paying the property tax for you, who would then be paying you rent. You're missing out on that. That's the expense in this scenario. So even house hacking, you're not living for free. And the faster you can understand this concept that wherever we go, consuming and taking up resources, the faster you can get over the fact of the place, whatever place it is that you're living in, actually making you money. Because it doesn't. Whatever space you're occupying doesn't make you money because you're the one occupying it and no one else can pay you for that space. I really just want to ask you, if you don't understand where I'm coming from in this video, you're not understanding it, you don't agree with me, please leave a comment. I'd love to have a discussion with you. This has really helped me in the last decade of really just understand these concepts, and it's definitely helped me accelerate to my goals. If you like this channel, if you like the video, we're gonna be dropping more videos like it. Please like this video, please subscribe to the channel, share it with anyone else that you think might get benefit out of it, and we'll talk to you soon.